The school prince thought I stole his lost wallet. Then the floating comments appeared. Just because I picked up a wallet from the library floor, the most popular guy on campus thought I was a thief. I was about to hand it back. Then strange glowing text appeared in front of my eyes. Here comes the supporting character again. Watch her pretend to be innocent. The male lead hates liars more than anything. Once he's convinced she stole his wallet, she'll lose her scholarship and transfer schools. I froze. The wallet felt heavy in my hands. Across the library, dozens of students were already staring. The owner of the wallet had finally arrived. Liam Carter, top student, student council president, national debate champion. The kind of person whose name appeared on every achievement board on campus. And unfortunately, the owner of the wallet I was holding. There it is. His deep voice cut through the silence. My heart sank. A girl beside him pointed directly at me. I saw her pick it up. The floating text immediately appeared again. Exactly like the novel. The supporting character will try explaining. Nobody will believe her. The female lead will expose her later and save the day. I stared at the glowing words. Novel. Supporting character. What were they talking about? Give it back. Liam stopped in front of me. His expression was cold. Not angry. Worse. Disappointed. As though he had already decided who I was. I swallowed. I wasn't stealing it. A few students laughed. Of course they did. People believed attractive, successful students. Not scholarship girls wearing sneakers held together by glue. The floating text flashed excitedly. Here we go. The supporting character is about to embarrass herself. The male lead already hates her. No matter what she says, she's finished. Finished? No. I couldn't afford to be finished. My mother cleaned hotel rooms 6 days a week. My younger brother shared textbooks because we couldn't afford new ones. Everything I had came from scholarships. One accusation could destroy years of work. I took a deep breath, then slowly placed the wallet on the table. Open it. Liam frowned. What? Open it. The room grew quiet. If I wanted to steal your money, why would I still be standing here? Nobody spoke. Liam opened the wallet. Cash. Cards. Student ID. Everything untouched. His eyes narrowed slightly. The floating text paused. Wait. That's not supposed to happen. The supporting character should panic. Why is she being logical? For the first time, I wondered if those floating messages were wrong. Because Liam wasn't looking at me like a thief anymore. He was looking at me like a puzzle. And somehow that felt even more dangerous. The crowd gradually dispersed. The excitement was over. The scandal they wanted hadn't happened. Good. I preferred boring. Boring people graduated. Boring people kept scholarships. Boring people survived. As I packed my books, another notification flashed across my vision. Warning. The female lead just noticed the male lead looking at you. Plot deviation detected. I stared, then looked across the room. A beautiful girl had just entered the library. Long hair. Designer handbag. Perfect smile. The kind of girl who belonged on magazine covers. Several students immediately greeted her. Even Liam seemed surprised. The floating text practically exploded. Female lead arrival. The real story starts now. Stay away from the male lead if you value your future. The girl smiled brightly, then walked straight toward me. Not Liam. Me. My stomach dropped. Because something told me my problems were only beginning. The beautiful girl stopped directly in front of me. Up close, she looked even more perfect. Flawless skin, expensive perfume, a smile that could probably convince people to donate their life savings. Hi, her voice was sweet. You're Emma, right? My grip tightened around my backpack strap. Yes, her smile widened. I'm Olivia. The floating text immediately exploded. Female lead detected. Female lead detected. Plot beginning. I already knew that, somehow. I heard what happened. Olivia glanced at Liam before looking back at me. That must have been embarrassing. Something about her tone made me uncomfortable. She sounded sympathetic, too sympathetic, like someone comforting an injured animal. I'm fine. That's good. Her smile remained perfectly in place. I'd hate for someone to misunderstand your intentions. The floating text flashed again. Look at our kind female lead helping the supporting character. She's so gentle, so considerate. I wasn't convinced. Before I could respond, Olivia reached out and adjusted the collar of my worn jacket. You should be more careful. Her voice dropped slightly. People notice everything here. Then she walked away. The moment she was out of earshot, the smile disappeared from my face, because that hadn't felt like advice. It had felt like a warning. For the next week, I avoided both Liam and Olivia. It wasn't difficult. My schedule was packed. Classes, library, part-time job, repeat. Unlike most students, I couldn't afford distractions. Every hour mattered. Every dollar mattered. Unfortunately, distractions seemed determined to find me. Emma! I nearly dropped the stack of books in my arms. Liam stood at the end of the hallway. Several students immediately slowed down to watch. Great. Exactly what I needed. Attention. What? His gaze dropped to the books. You left your notes in the library. He held out a notebook. My notebook. I frowned. How did you find me? Student records. That's creepy. To my surprise, the corner of his mouth twitched, almost a smile. The floating text malfunctioned. Wait, did the male lead just find that funny? No, impossible. He only smiles at the female lead. Liam ignored the imaginary audience hovering in front of my face. You should be more careful. I took the notebook. Thank you. He nodded. Then he left. The entire interaction lasted less than 30 seconds. It should have been insignificant. Apparently, the rest of campus disagreed. By lunch, rumors were everywhere. The scholarship girl got Liam's number. Liam personally returned her notebook. Liam smiled at her. Liam walked her to class. That last one wasn't even true. Unfortunately, truth had never stopped a rumor before. The floating text became increasingly agitated. Plot deviation increasing. Why is the male lead paying attention to the supporting character? Female lead dissatisfaction rising. That last line made my stomach sink. Because the next morning, I discovered exactly what it meant. Someone had vandalized my locker. Cheap gold digger. Know your place. Stay away from him. The words were written in thick black marker across the metal door. Students gathered nearby, pretending not to stare. I froze. Not because of the insults. I'd heard worse. But because of what the floating text said next. The female lead didn't do this. But she knows who did. And she's not going to stop them. For several seconds, I simply stood there. Then another voice spoke. Move. The crowd instantly parted. Liam. His expression darkened as he looked at the locker. Without saying a word, he took off his blazer, rolled up the sleeves of his white shirt, grabbed a cleaning cloth from a nearby maintenance cart, and started scrubbing. The hallway fell completely silent. Even I forgot how to breathe. Because Liam Carter didn't do things like this. Student council presidents didn't clean lockers. Campus princes definitely didn't. Yet there he was, removing every ugly word one by one. The floating text practically short-circuited. Warning. Warning. Male lead behavior inconsistent. Why is he cleaning the supporting character's locker? This scene belongs to the female lead. I stared at Liam. Why are you doing that? He didn't look up. Because someone wrote on your locker. That's not your problem. It became my problem when they used my name. The cloth paused. For the first time, he looked directly at me. If people are targeting you because of me, then yes, it's my problem. My heart skipped. The floating text immediately panicked. Danger. Danger. Male lead favorability increasing. Female lead route threatened. Somewhere down the hallway, a pair of eyes watched us. I didn't need the floating text to tell me who it was. Olivia stood near the staircase, still smiling. But this time, her smile didn't reach her eyes. And for the first time, I understood something important. The real story wasn't about to begin. It already had. The next Monday started with disaster. I arrived at my first lecture 10 minutes early only to discover my final research proposal had disappeared from the class portal. My stomach immediately dropped. That assignment was worth 30% of my grade. Without it, my scholarship renewal would be at risk. I checked again. Nothing. My submission history was empty. Around me, students were chatting normally. Nobody seemed to notice my panic. Then the floating text appeared. Plot progression detected. Supporting character approaching first major setback. Female lead opportunity unlocked. My jaw tightened. I hated when the floating messages were right. I rushed to the professor's office. Fortunately, he agreed to check the system. Unfortunately, the results made things worse. According to the records, your assignment was deleted from your account 2 days ago. I stared at him. Deleted, he nodded. Using your own login. My mind went blank. That was impossible. I had spent 3 weeks writing that proposal. Why would I delete it? The floating text flickered excitedly. Here it comes. The supporting character will be accused of cheating. The male lead will misunderstand her. Female lead comfort route activated. I ignored it and forced myself to think. 2 days ago. Saturday, I had been working a double shift at the cafe. My laptop had been left in the dorm room. Suddenly, a memory surfaced. Olivia had borrowed my laptop charger. My pulse quickened. No, that couldn't be enough evidence. Before I could investigate further, another problem appeared. Someone had anonymously reported me for plagiarism. By lunch, half the department knew. By dinner, the entire campus seemed to know. The rumors spread faster than a virus. Scholarship student caught cheating. Emma copied her proposal. Academic misconduct investigation pending. Every whisper felt like a knife. The floating text practically celebrated. Good, this is exactly what should happen. The supporting character needs to learn her place. Female lead popularity increasing. I was carrying a stack of textbooks across campus when someone suddenly grabbed my wrist. Liam. His expression was unusually serious. You're not answering your messages. I frowned. What messages? He pulled out his phone. There were 6 unread messages. Apparently, he had been trying to contact me all day. I never saw them because my phone battery had died hours ago. You believe the rumors? I asked quietly. Liam's eyes narrowed. Do you? The question caught me off guard. What? Do you believe you're the type of person who would cheat? For a moment, I couldn't speak. Then he sighed. Neither do I. The floating text froze. Warning. Male lead trust level increasing unexpectedly. This scene belongs to the female lead. I almost laughed. The floating text was becoming increasingly upset, and honestly, I was starting to enjoy it. The investigation meeting was scheduled for Friday morning. 4 days. 4 days to prove I hadn't cheated. 4 days before my scholarship committee received the report. 4 days before everything I had worked for could disappear. The pressure was crushing. I barely slept. Every spare moment was spent searching for evidence. Then on Wednesday night, I found something strange. While reviewing login records with the university IT department, I noticed a second device had accessed my account. The login happened from my dormitory, exactly 20 minutes after I left for work. My heartbeat accelerated. Someone had entered my account. Someone had deleted my proposal. Someone had reported me. The floating text suddenly flashed red. Warning, plot inconsistency detected. Female lead actions suspicious. Wait, what? I stared. Female lead actions suspicious. That was new. Usually the floating text worshipped Olivia. Before I could process it, another message appeared. Original storyline deviation exceeds acceptable threshold. Character behavior under review. My stomach twisted. Original storyline, what did that even mean? That evening I returned to the dorm earlier than usual. The room was empty except for Olivia. She sat at her desk typing quickly. The moment she saw me, she minimized whatever was on her screen. Too quickly, far too quickly. Emma. Her smile appeared instantly. You're home early. Yeah, I watched her carefully. Working on something? Just homework. The answer came too fast. The floating text immediately appeared above her head. Female lead anxiety detected. Concealment behavior detected. My pulse skipped. It had never described Olivia like that before, ever. For the first time since this whole bizarre situation began, the floating text seemed suspicious of her. Then Olivia stood up and walked over. You look stressed. Her voice was sweet as honey. Can I help? I looked directly into her eyes. Beautiful, friendly, perfect, yet suddenly all I could see were cracks, tiny cracks, hairline fractures hidden beneath a flawless surface. Actually, I said softly, there is something I'm curious about. Her smile froze for half a second, barely noticeable, but I saw it. What's that? I stepped closer. How did you know about my plagiarism investigation before anyone else? Silence, complete silence. Then, for the first time since meeting her, Olivia's smile disappeared, not completely. Just enough for me to see the person hiding underneath. And that person looked terrified. Olivia recovered almost instantly. If I had blinked, I might have missed it. Her smile returned, her posture relaxed, her voice became gentle again. What do you mean? She asked. I studied her carefully. The investigation isn't public knowledge. Olivia laughed softly. Emma, everyone is talking about it. The investigation started yesterday. Her smile faltered again, just for a second, then she shrugged. Maybe I heard it from someone. Convenient, very convenient. The floating text flickered uncertainly. Female lead response probability decreasing. Confidence level unstable. I stared at the words. For the first time, they seemed confused, almost nervous. Olivia changed the subject quickly. You should get some rest. Maybe. You'll figure things out. I nodded, then spent the next 2 hours pretending to study while secretly watching her. Around midnight, Olivia finally left the room. The moment the door closed behind her, I opened my laptop. A strange feeling had been bothering me all evening. Instinct, suspicion, something. I opened the university login records again, then compared them with the dorm Wi-Fi records I had requested earlier. My pulse immediately accelerated. The second login to my account hadn't just happened from the dorm. It had happened from Olivia's side of the room. I stared at the screen, once, twice, 3 times. The result didn't change. The floating text flashed violently. Warning. Female lead root corruption detected. Character integrity compromised. What? Character integrity compromised? Was Olivia not the heroine after all? Before I could think further, another message appeared. Original storyline unavailable. Data conflict detected. My stomach dropped. Original storyline. Again. Whatever these floating messages were, even they seemed confused now. The next morning, Liam found me in the library. Apparently that was becoming a habit. You look terrible. Good morning to you too. He sat across from me. Did you sleep? Not really. His gaze sharpened. You found something. It wasn't a question. Somehow he always seemed to know. I hesitated, then slid the evidence across the table. Liam studied it quietly. The longer he looked, the colder his expression became. Finally he spoke. This isn't enough. My heart sank, then he continued. But it's enough to start digging. The floating text immediately panicked. Warning. Male lead and supporting character cooperation increasing. Plot deviation critical. Supporting character influence exceeds safe levels. Liam ignored the imaginary disaster happening in front of my eyes. Do you trust me? The question surprised me. Why? Because if we're doing this, we do it properly. His eyes met mine. Steady, serious, no half measures. For several seconds, I didn't answer. Trust was expensive. Trust got people hurt. But somehow I nodded. Okay. Liam leaned back. Then let's expose whoever did this. 3 days later, we found the first real crack in Olivia's perfect image. It happened completely by accident, or maybe fate was finally feeling generous. Liam had access to student council records. One of those records showed security footage requests. Every request made through university systems was logged. Every single one, including one submitted 2 weeks earlier. Submitted by Olivia. I stared at the screen. She requested access to the dorm hallway cameras. Liam nodded. Specifically your floor. My stomach twisted. Why would Olivia need footage from my floor? The answer arrived almost immediately. She wanted access to my room. She wanted to know when I was gone. The realization made my skin crawl. The floating text flashed again. Female lead suspicion level increasing. Audience favorability decreasing. Wait, audience favorability. Now it sounded like the messages were tracking a story. A real story. One that was falling apart. Liam seemed to notice my distraction. The floating messages again? I froze. What? He frowned. You keep staring at empty space. Right, of course, nobody else could see them. Nothing. He clearly didn't believe me. Fortunately, he didn't push. Instead, he pointed at another file. Look at the date. I did. Then my heart nearly stopped. The footage request happened the same day Olivia borrowed my laptop charger. The same day my proposal disappeared. The same day someone logged into my account. The pieces were starting to fit together. Unfortunately, someone else realized that too. That night, Olivia confronted me outside the dorm building. For the first time, she wasn't smiling. You've been asking questions. Her voice was calm. Too calm. I tightened my grip on my backpack. Maybe. You should stop. The floating text instantly exploded. Villain dialogue detected. Wait, villain, did it really just call her a villain? Olivia seemed completely unaware of the identity crisis happening above her head. She stepped closer. Some things are better left alone. Like what? Like people who don't know when to stay in their lane. There it was, finally. The mask slipped, not completely, but enough. I saw the jealousy, the resentment, the anger. Olivia wasn't upset because of Liam. She was upset because I existed. The realization hit harder than expected. Why? I asked quietly. Why me? For the first time, genuine emotion flashed across her face. Because everything was supposed to go differently. The floating text froze. Original storyline reference detected. Character awareness increasing. Olivia's eyes widened slightly, as though she had almost revealed too much. Then she stepped back. You're making a mistake, Emma. Maybe. You'll regret this. She turned and walked away, leaving me standing beneath the campus lights. The floating text slowly appeared one final time that night. Warning. Major public event approaching. Supporting character humiliation route scheduled. Probability, 98%. Then another line appeared beneath it. Probability of reversal, increasing. For the first time since this strange nightmare began, I smiled. Because somewhere ahead, Olivia was planning something big. And this time, I planned to be ready. The major public event turned out to be Founders' Night. Every year, the university hosted a massive ceremony celebrating donors, scholarship recipients, student leaders, and academic achievements. Nearly every important person on campus attended: professors, alumni, sponsors, even local media. For scholarship students like me, it was one of the most important nights of the year, which made it the perfect place to destroy someone. The floating text appeared the moment I received the invitation. Public humiliation route confirmed. Supporting character reputation collapse scheduled. Probability 98%. I stared at it, then laughed quietly. The floating text seemed offended. Probability remains unchanged. We will see, I thought. The week leading up to Founders' Night was strangely calm. Too calm. Olivia returned to acting sweet. She smiled at me in class, asked about assignments, even offered to share notes. The performance would have been convincing if I hadn't already seen the cracks. Liam noticed it too. She's planning something. We were sitting in a quiet study room. I know. Do you know what? Not yet, Liam frowned. I don't like this. The floating text appeared. Male lead concern increasing. Supporting character emotional defense weakening. I ignored it. There were more important things to worry about. Founders' Night arrived faster than expected. The ballroom glittered beneath crystal chandeliers. Scholarship recipients sat near the front. Student council members moved between tables. Cameras flashed constantly. Everything looked perfect, which usually meant disaster was about to happen. The floating text practically vibrated. Here it comes. Plot restoration attempt beginning. Female lead final move activated. I sat perfectly still, waiting, watching. Then Olivia stood. A microphone appeared in her hand. My stomach immediately sank. Around the room, conversations died down. Before tonight ends, Olivia said softly, there's something everyone deserves to know. Here we go. The floating text practically cheered. Justice for the female lead, expose the supporting character. Olivia lowered her gaze. I didn't want to do this. The audience immediately leaned closer. Of course they did. People loved public scandals. But some people have been dishonest. A large screen behind the stage suddenly lit up. My heart hammered. Images appeared. Screenshots, messages, emails, photos. My name was attached to all of them. The room exploded into whispers. She sold assignments. She accepted money. No way. I knew something was off. Olivia's voice trembled beautifully, almost professionally. I wanted to believe Emma was innocent. The performance was flawless. Unfortunately for her, so was mine. I slowly stood up. The room turned toward me. The floating text froze. Wait. Supporting character confidence level abnormal. I walked calmly toward the stage. Every eye followed me. Every whisper stopped. Olivia's smile flickered just once. She hadn't expected me to move. Good, I reached the microphone, then looked directly at the audience. Before anyone believes those screenshots, I paused. Maybe we should verify where they came from. Silence, complete silence. Then the giant screen changed. Liam had just connected his laptop. Olivia's expression shattered, because suddenly the audience wasn't seeing fake evidence. They were seeing metadata, file histories, editing timestamps. Login records, device information. Every piece of evidence pointed toward one person. Olivia, gasps spread throughout the ballroom. The floating text screamed, "Plot collapse detected, plot collapse detected." Olivia took a step backward. "That's fake." Her voice sounded far less confident now. I looked at her calmly. "Like your screenshots?" The audience erupted. Some students pulled out their phones. Others whispered furiously. Olivia's perfect image was cracking apart in real time. But the biggest revelation was still coming. Olivia's face had gone completely pale. For the first time since I met her, she looked afraid, truly afraid. The screen behind us continued displaying evidence. Security logs, login records, camera requests, everything. One by one, every accusation against me collapsed. The floating text flickered wildly. Female lead status revoked. Error, error, error. Audience alignment shifting. Olivia suddenly grabbed the microphone. "You don't understand." Her voice cracked. The room quieted. She looked directly at me. "You weren't supposed to be here." My pulse skipped. The floating text froze. Original storyline reference confirmed. "What?" I asked. Olivia laughed, a strange, broken laugh. "This wasn't how it was supposed to happen." Murmurs spread through the audience. She looked almost desperate now. "You were supposed to leave after the plagiarism scandal." My blood ran cold. She wasn't even trying to deny it anymore. "You were supposed to lose your scholarship." Another whisper swept through the crowd. Olivia seemed completely unaware, or maybe she no longer cared. Years of jealousy were finally spilling out. Then Liam would realize who actually belonged beside him. There it was, the truth, not love, not destiny, not romance, entitlement. Olivia didn't love Liam. She loved winning. She loved being admired. She loved being chosen. And I had ruined that. The floating text suddenly flashed brighter than ever before. Critical system failure. Original female lead rejected. Narrative transfer complete. I stared. Narrative transfer. Then another message appeared. Original story corruption source identified. Olivia. The world seemed to stop. Even the floating text thought Olivia was the problem. Somehow that felt absurdly satisfying. Olivia looked around the room. No one was supporting her. No one was defending her. The professors looked disappointed. The donors looked horrified. Student council members looked furious. Liam looked done. Completely done. Olivia's shoulders finally slumped. The fight left her all at once. "I just wanted," her voice broke. "I just wanted to matter." For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. Then I remembered the scholarship investigation, the rumors, the fake evidence, the sleepless nights, the fear, the humiliation. Mattering wasn't an excuse for cruelty. The floating text appeared one last time above Olivia. Character arc terminated. Harsh, but fair. Campus security quietly approached the stage. The event organizers took the microphone. Olivia didn't resist. She simply walked away. Alone, the audience parted as she passed. No applause, no sympathy, no dramatic farewell, just silence. Somehow that felt worse. As the doors closed behind her, the floating text appeared again. Final chapter unlocked. Supporting character status removed. Main character status pending confirmation. I stared at the words, then at Liam. He was already looking at me, and somehow I knew the story wasn't quite over yet. The morning after Founders Night, campus felt different. Students who used to ignore me suddenly knew my name. People moved aside when I walked through hallways. Some smiled. Others looked embarrassed. A few openly apologized. Apparently being publicly proven innocent changed how people saw you. Funny, I was still the same person. The floating text appeared above my economics textbook. Public opinion adjustment complete. Supporting character popularity exceeds projections. I rolled my eyes. At this point, the floating text sounded as confused as everyone else. The scholarship investigation ended 2 days later. Officially, unanimously, completely in my favor. The university cleared my name. The plagiarism accusation was removed from my record. My scholarship was renewed. When I opened the email, I sat staring at the screen for almost a full minute. Then I cried, quietly. Relief was strange. It didn't arrive dramatically. It arrived all at once. Like finally putting down a weight you forgot you were carrying. The floating text appeared again, achievement unlocked, scholarship secured, future preserved. For once I didn't mind it. That evening I called my mother. The moment she heard the news, she started crying too. "I told you," her voice shook. "I told you good people eventually win." I smiled despite the tears. "It took a while. Still happened." She was right. After we hung up, I sat outside the library watching the sunset. For the first time in months, I felt peaceful. Unfortunately, peace never lasted long around me. "Emma," I looked up. Olivia stood a few feet away. She looked completely different. No designer handbag, no perfect makeup, no audience, just Olivia. For several seconds, neither of us spoke. Then she laughed softly. I guess this is the part where you tell me I got what I deserved. I considered it. Did you? Her smile faded. Fair question. She sat on the bench opposite me. You know what's funny? What? I actually liked you when we first met. That surprised me. Then why? Olivia looked toward the setting sun. Because nobody ever looked at me the way they looked at you. I frowned. What are you talking about? People admired me. Her voice remained calm. They admired my clothes, my family, my appearance. She looked down, but people trusted you. I didn't know what to say. Olivia laughed bitterly. You worked 3 jobs and still got better grades than me. Silence. Professors respected you. Another silence. Liam respected you. There it was, the real wound, not romance, respect. Olivia spent years being admired, but admiration wasn't the same as being valued. Somewhere along the way, she started confusing the two. I kept waiting for people to see me the way they saw you. Her voice cracked slightly. Then I realized they never would. I studied her carefully. For the first time, I wasn't looking at a villain, just a girl who made terrible choices. You could have earned that respect. Olivia smiled sadly. Probably. Then she stood. Instead, I tried taking a shortcut. We both knew how that ended. She took a deep breath. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. The apology wasn't dramatic. It wasn't perfect, but it sounded real. I nodded. I know. Olivia looked relieved. Then she turned and walked away. This time, I didn't stop her. Some stories ended with revenge. Others ended with understanding. Maybe this one needed both. The floating text slowly appeared. Rival arc concluded. Emotional resolution achieved. I laughed. You're getting sentimental. The floating text didn't respond. Graduation arrived 6 months later. Somehow, between classes, work, exams, and everything else, time had sprinted forward. The campus lawn was packed with students wearing graduation gowns. Families crowded every corner holding cameras. Laughter filled the air. My mother arrived 2 hours early because she was afraid she'd miss something. My younger brother spent the entire morning pretending not to cry. He failed miserably. The floating text appeared above the crowd. Final chapter detected. Main character evaluation pending. I adjusted my graduation cap. You've been saying that for months. No response. Typical. After the ceremony ended, students scattered across campus taking photos. I escaped to a quieter path behind the library. Some habits never changed. That's where Liam found me. Again, honestly, I should have expected it. There you are, I smiled. Looking for me? Always. My heart immediately betrayed me by skipping a beat. Liam noticed. Of course he noticed. Always noticed everything. We walked together beneath the trees. Comfortable silence settled between us. Not awkward, just easy. The kind of silence that only existed between people who genuinely understood each other. Finally, Liam stopped walking. Emma. The seriousness in his voice made me nervous. What? He looked directly at me. Do you remember the day in the library? I laughed. The wallet incident? Yes. Hard to forget. Liam shook his head slightly. That's not what I remember. Pulse quickened. Then what do you remember? His expression softened. I remember a girl standing in front of an entire crowd. The world seemed to quiet around us. A girl who was terrified. My throat tightened. Who still refused to let anyone decide who she was. My heart completely gave up on behaving normally. Liam smiled. That's when I started liking you. For a moment, I genuinely forgot how to speak. The floating text immediately exploded. Romantic confession confirmed. Main story completion approaching. Liam ignored it, like always. You know, he continued, most people spend their lives trying to become someone impressive. His gaze never left mine. You already were. That did it. My eyes burned. Liam looked alarmed. Are you crying? No, Emma. Maybe a little, he laughed, then gently took my hand, just like he had after Founders Night. Simple, warm, real, no audience, no drama, no misunderstanding, just us. The floating text suddenly appeared one final time. The letters glowed brighter than ever before. Supporting character status removed. Main character status confirmed. Story complete. Then another line appeared beneath it, a line I had never seen before. Thank you for refusing the role we assigned you. I stared. For the first time, the floating text felt almost human. Then the words slowly dissolved into light, one by one, until nothing remained. No more warnings, no more predictions. No more stories deciding who I should be, just me. Liam squeezed my hand. What are you smiling about? I looked up at the sky, then at the future waiting ahead. Nothing. And for the first time, that was completely true. The end.